Hey guys, it's me, YouTuber Michael. Thank you. Now, if you're watching this, you've definitely played Roblox at least once, and you probably know what a Game Boy is, unless you're like 11, which I don't doubt. Back on topic, Game Boy and Roblox, what do they have in common? Absolutely nothing. Why the fuck would you even ask? What the fuck? Now you may be asking, Micah, what the fuck is this Piggo Tower of Doom game? Well, dear viewer, to explain that, I'll have to go over the craziest Roblox YouTuber lore. But before my amazing lore drop, I'd like to thank you guys for the reception on the last video. With those 2.5 views, we here at Crease Corporation were able to afford these bad boys. Bring them out, man! Oh yeah, and I got that pretty cool green screen over there. Hey, what are you doing with that? Anyways, it was the grand year of 2015, and a little boy named Johnny decided to start a YouTube channel by the name of Mr. Piglover 94. Now, you see, this little nerd made us... Actually, pausing my script read for this, putting down my phone, I'm not looking at my script anymore. What the fuck kind of name is that? Mr. Piglover 94? Holy... Oh. This little nerd named Mr. Piglover 94 made stop motion videos, even expanding out to storytime animation, just like what I used to do. That ain't important right now.
Do I even English, bro?
Why are we still here? Just to suffer?
Now, this Piggo guy got his first semblance of popularity in 2020 with his bizarre A Bizarre Day videos. You guys get it? The game's called... And slowly after that, he gained a small audience and kept pumping out videos, and everything was going so well. He got a bajillion million views on everything and became the first world's YouTuber billionaire. I hope you could tell I was joking. But if you're dumb, deaf, and blind, I'll spell it out for you. He fell off for like 3 years getting no views. Even then, he made these short films that play a really important role into the game. And speaking of the game, let's finally loop all the way back to the initial question after going through all that. What is Piggo Tower of Doom? Now that you're acquainted with this Piggo guy, he may be asking such perplexing questions like, but why does he have a Tower of Doom? And on a Game Boy for that matter, why is he bald and ugly? Well, the best way to explain it is to obviously just play the game. Tower of Doom opens up on a shot of the Tower of Doom. Whoa, best game of 2025! Holy shit, yeah! Anyway, the actual game starts off with some sort of lore exchange, a very intellectual one at that. Hello? Huh? Truly, the writing of all time. It really brings a tear to my eye. And that isn't metaphorical, I really am crying right now. After that, you're spoon-fed this batch of text. I'm actually illiterate. Give me a sec. Fantastic. It worked. You've arrived. I can't spend long taking up a whole scene, so we need to make this quick. Are you familiar with what the overseeing ministry has dubbed the Piggo Lore? If you're a sane human being, you'd answer, no, what the fuck is a Piggo Lore?
Well, actually, I'm a very sane man, if I do say so myself.
Get the fuck out! Anyway, to start off the Piggo Lore, I could have sworn I hired the explosion guy to... The fake explosive guy thought it was a good idea to use a real explosion. He had fake in his job title. Anyway, Piggo Lore time! This game has a built-in lore explanation with these really ugly, crunchy Game Boy photos, and you guys don't want to see that, so I'm going to use actual footage of the short films. This game named Johnny just hit 200 subs, although he's better known as Mr. Piglover 94, who was mentioned before if you remember. Johnny has a highly intelligent penguin best friend by the name of Puffy. I don't know why, and I don't know why the penguin can speak. So this penguin Puffy is an odd one per se and is set on world fucking domination, and that's exactly what she somehow got as a penguin. She took over the entire fucking world but couldn't bring herself to kill Johnny. She was hoping that Johnny would change his ways and dominate the world with her. Johnny would never cave though. He dedicated his life to going back in time just to kill Puffy. Many years pass and Johnny's now a fucking bald ugly Brexit geezer. He's nicknamed Broski by survivors of Puffy's world domination, and Broski creates a time machine to travel back in time just to put an end to Puffy. After going back in time, Broski teams up with his past self for some reason. reason, somehow. Maybe it was fate. They had to work together. Who the fuck knows? Together they beat the fuck out of Puffy in one last battle. And I forgot to mention one thing. They have like stands from JoJo for some reason. In the rising action of this absolute cinema, absolute kino, Broski's fed a Roka fruit from JoJo's, resetting his stand ability. Now, this isn't important as we speak, but it's important for the bigger picture. You're gonna understand this one day. And by one day, I mean in like probably like 10 minutes when I tell you why. So just remember the guy that fed him that Roka. Anyway, Broski recovers his Broski Platinum through the most insane fucking ass pull. See, Mr. Piglover got fucking murdered by Puffy, but while he was dying, he put a stand arrow in a frying pan and threw it, getting the arrow where Broski is. How did he do this? I don't know. How did Broski not die? Well, because when he used the stand arrow, he gained the ability to fucking transmutate through time. After regaining his Broski Platinum, he has a face-off against Puffy on a Roblox Baseplate, so I guess you could call it a random baseplate. The bald geezer in his stand absolutely pummel this ugly penguin, sealing her away in the outside corners of reality, as it's put, also known as the baseplate. Puffy is left to eternally rot on a random baseplate. Absolute cinema. Oh my god. Somebody put a cork in it! Broski returns to his present day, and the world is back to normal, just in time for Christmas. He starts working on his hobby of being a YouTuber again, although he's lost passion for it. A few days after this, Broski was captured by some organization. He was tortured for answers about his time spent in the past after they found a picture of him with his past self. Broski was held prisoner by this organization, used as a literal fucking slave. As a strong, independent, bald Brexit geezer, Broski decides to fuck some shit up in the portal room he's overseeing. He decides to take his chance and jump into the portal. This being a small mistake. Broski woke up in a dumpster. He soon realized where he was. He was sent to a sector run by governmental figures where crime ran rampant and gangs ran the entire place. Broski taking up his opportunity to start his own gang and run the streets. So basically, what I'm saying is Broski ran Oblock. But this implies Chief Keef was actually Broski this entire time. So Broski then went fucking Sigma mode and killed everyone in his gang because he was bored or something. He got kicked out of his own gang for his actions. Broski, who's about to be killed, is saved by the fucking Terminator. The Terminator explains that he was sent to this timeline to protect Broski from the Eternal Slayer, who Broski absolutely demolishes in a fight, bringing out a weakened Broski Platinum to end the job. So you know that portal Broski jumped into? It kind of split the timelines. So alternatively, after the portal incident, Broski woke up excited for Easter, but then he got kidnapped and was forced to get some fucking eggs for this evil-ass chicken named Edward.
Stop laughing.
By finding all these eggs, he incidentally released the chicken. Eventually, Broski has a showdown with said chicken, revealing himself to be the chicken of hell. With a smart plan, Broski tricks the chicken into falling into lava and dying. In another timeline split, Broski went trick-or-treating but was attacked by a killer named Jean Moline, which he genuinely just murdered. I actually don't know how he got away with it. He left a dead body in his front yard. Who the fuck is letting him get away with that? In another universe, he was a bounty hunter, but that one doesn't really matter. But in a universe that does matter, he ran a brand known as Broski Productions, known for AAA games and top-of-the-line clothing. The cause of this all was when he jumped into that portal. The portal was unstable and it shattered the timeline, splitting it into different outcomes. And putting 2 and 2 together, the Tower of Doom was created by that same incident. The game talks to you, the player, and directly tells you, you are the only one who can free us. Don't fail your mission. Now, having all that lore condensed and fed to you like you're a baby bird in the form of a Game Boy slideshow, you may think, wow, that was a fucking lot. I sure hope this game doesn't instantly throw me into it. The game then proceeds to instantly throw you into it. The game starts off with you on the top of the titular Tower of Doom. Puffy staring you down. And wow, I can't believe we made it to the top of the Tower of Doom at the beginning of the game. Surely nothing will happen to make us fall down, right? We then fall down into the most unarchitecturally sound building ever, collecting our cool-ass sword that seemed to be surrounded by something, but probably doesn't mean much. It doesn't matter. Going into the next room, we're faced with our first boss in like 2 minutes into the game. But sure, the first boss is some sort of robot called an Emperor. The boss isn't the hardest thing ever, I'm just really special and keep head diving into the robot every chance I get. And you can't forget such an unforgettable attack as these blue balls that I jump into all the time. After dishing out 7 hits to this robot, he says, these words are his, not mine. I'm gonna blow. And y'all didn't believe what I said earlier about the architectural stability of the building. I know what I'm doing. I used to be part of Majima Construction. Good old days. Continuing through the blowhole, I'll just call it the blowhole. The game speaks to me again. assuring me to beat these floors, get these keys, and free my friends. I mean, which is crazy because the last time I told someone that my games were talking to me, I got locked up in this room for a while. Going forward, we're introduced to our cat Rosie, which can speak for some reason. I guess that's just a thing. She introduces us to the main system of the game, finding keys to free our friends that Puffy has locked up in this tower. After having a nice talk with my cat, she foreshadows some sort of glitchy guy. Aw, weird, right, guys? We head on to the first floor, which holds the first level for us. After a fire-ass title card, we're tossed into this really ugly city with these green pricks I hate. They'll come up later. And by later, I mean they're literally fucking everywhere in this game. Hopping onto a bike, you drive through the city, running all the green guys over, which brings joy to my soul. Driving our bike through the front glass of Broski Productions, we're met by... Actually, I'm just gonna give you a second to guess who appears. If you said the 44th President of the United States, Barack Hussein Obama II, you would be right. Our president here is only a floating head. I couldn't tell you why. Obama has taken over our establishment and has even went through the hassle of ordering giant furniture for the building. How nice of him. Not for us, but nice for him. In the literal next room over, we enter our second boss yet. Could you guess who we fight? Yeah, we fight Obama. This boss is like the easiest thing in the game. This boss consists of spawn camping him because he follows the easiest to track route I think I've witnessed in my 16 beautiful years of life. After vanquishing Obama from the earth with the power of the most annoying to control sword ever. Actually, now that I think about it, this shit might not even take place on earth because what the fuck even? Also, fun fact that I just now noticed while writing this, Broski does a Fortnite emote after every boss he kills. The next room over, we're faced with a new type of enemy, the strongest enemy yet. You may be asking, "Oh, Michael, what is this new enemy?" Well, my dear viewer, it's a t-shirt that blows on you when you walk into it. It's based off this very beautiful article of clothing on the Broski Productions store that you can get on Roblox. Can't you just see the similarities? Yeah, I don't really see it. I thought it would have exploded or something cool like that, but it's just some lame Sonic shirt. Continuing on from the blow room, yes, I'm going to call it the blow room. We enter the back room of the Broski Productions Homestore, which has a giant toilet in it. The giant toilet's called the T. I just wanted you guys to know that. But hey, that toilet has my cape in it! Our toilet cape is quickly snatched away from us by this glitching thing. Must have been the person my cat was talking about. On a side note about the toilet cape, realistically speaking, I'm fine with this shit being taken by the glitch. I don't even want it. That thing it's been in the toilet, but apparently Broski's adamant on getting it back. He needs his stinky little cape. He's a stink maxer. Besides that, the glitchy guy is revealed to be named the Bug. What a creative name. He tells us that he was created by Puffy and he's going to kill us with his black ball attack. Also, a little nitpick is how every time you die in this boss, you have to track back like 2 rooms just to fight it again and probably lose because it's not the easiest thing ever and you only have 4 HP. After giving the Bug a couple of devious Broski shots, the Bug retreats like a pussy under the guise that it's, "Oh, we're not worthy of its effort." Yeah, buddy, okay. The cape gets washed down the toilet and Broski jumps in too. He must really like this cape. Getting the cape from the toilet, it just gives us this shitty double jump ability. And I'm calling it shitty because it's just a botched double jump. You have to jump, fall for a bit, then jump. You don't press the jump button twice to jump. You have to fall for a bit before you jumping. There's like a cooldown before you can double jump. What? Continuing into the next room, you see the the Bug, who summons this freak of nature to chase us through the worst platforming segment of my life. Seriously, this game tries platforming so much. Keyword being tries, because the movement is so stiff at times it feels like a walk through hell. This game has its moments with platforming that aren't horrible, but it also has its horrible moments that make me want to brutally pass away. Continuing on, Broski really isn't beating the stink maxing allegations as he jumps into what I can only assume to be piss water. After this, we're blessed with more platforming. We enter this room over and we're faced with Gene Moline, the man Broski killed during Halloween, but he's a little more ripped than last time. Holy hell, dream physique right there. The Gene fight is relatively easy, but it's still a fun one to fight. His fighting tactic makes me think I'm fighting a gorilla, and well, his looks don't help that much. Why is he propped up like that? Is this posture even achievable? This fight consists of just him throwing knives at you, jumping around, shooting shockwaves at you because he's so fat. Kind of reminds me of my son I named Beer Fetcher. After giving this man a decent slashing, Broski doesn't Fortnite dance this time. What does this world come to? Oh yeah, and more importantly, Puffy shows up. Broski professing how he's gonna beat her ass. Puffy just doesn't give a shit and leaves. I'm starting to think there's a couple of things we could learn from Puffy, such as always ignore the bald white geezer telling you off. Oh yeah, and plan world domination. I've already started my 12-step plan, although I've been told that's for alcoholics, not world dominatrix like myself. Hello? So, I've been informed not to use that term, like, ever. On the bright side, we finished level 1. In the lobby, we head over to see the other prisoners Puffy is holding. We meet with Jeff, who is meant to be this, by the way. Continuing on to the next level, which is the Meadows. I'm gonna start off by saying I seriously don't know if I hate or love this level. It is the worst platforming segment I've ever had the dishonor of playing, but it still has some pretty cool things. It's a little misleading because, it doesn't look like hell to me. Actually, it looks pretty nice. It's clear from the beginning of this level that it's gonna be a platforming level, so that tells me everything I need to know. This level introduces the bane of my existence, also known as these blue timed jumper thingies. Fuck them, seriously. To rub salt on the wound on this level being a stupid platformer, if you fall into the water on like any of these, you get sent back like 2 rooms. Continuing on, we are greeted by the shadow of what seems to be some sort of upgraded green guy, who quickly flies away after noticing us. After heading through some platforming that surprisingly didn't want to make me end at all, we see glitching on the walls. I wonder who could be here. And yes, it's fan favorite glitchy guy back again for just about the easiest fucking fight so far. Seriously, this battle has like one move that poses even the slightest threat. After like 8 fucking hits, he wimps out and runs again. I'm starting to notice something about this bug. Mainly that he's a total pussy. I enter the next room and I think to myself, oh, what a nice conveniently placed bridge. And then the foreshadow guy just says fuck you and explodes the bridge, and now we're forced to do the worst platforming segment I've ever played. Seriously. I hate this! After beating this, which took me like 3,000 hours, he says, I'll see you again soon, stranger. Stranger? Who else says that? Oh well. Thankfully in the next room over, the people who constructed these meadows were kind enough to add a cable car. Finally, some peace. Except not! Because we get fucking blown up and left in this cavern thingy. 150 years! I won't do me like that! We enter a cave and have to do, would you believe me if I said an actual easy and fun platforming segment? Because that's what we do, where you just scale this waterfall. After exiting this cave, we find the base of some tower. Not the Tower of Doom, just this tower thing. Which, Broski then in response says the best fucking line in this game so far. Here we go. Judging by the fact Malene was back, I can only assume there's gonna be a chance Edward might be alive too. If that's the case, then I'm ready to go get that cock. Truly cinema. Thank you, Broski. Entering the tower, we have the game telling me to kill myself if all else fails. Wow. Teaching great lessons in this game, huh? Scaling to the top of the tower, you wouldn't believe me if I said the chicken from hell was there. Because he is. Edward, I recognize your tower, but how are you still alive? You fucking prick, Broski. You know that? Yeah, you killed me. Congrats, but I'm back now. Not sure how, not sure why. I couldn't care less. This is my chance for payback, you rotten piece of shit. That was really too British. He doesn't get his payback because he is in fact the easiest fucking boss in this game yet. Okay, I know I say this about literally every boss, but he just moves back and forth. That's all. I fry this chicken and it sends me back. No words. I thought I'd get cursed out by the chicken one more time, but it just puts me in the lobby. Kind of bumming. In the lobby, we get to check on our other friends, which consists of the fucking Terminator? Another thing about the lobby, there's this little glitchy thing. After running into it, Hey,
this thing is still kicking around. Things have really picked up for me since the last time I spoke into this thing. Well, when my leg was shut by the guards that were still roaming around, because guess what? I wasn't the sole survivor. To them, I was just an escaped prisoner, so yeah, I can't really blame them for the firing. Turns out the facility is working for me now. Can you believe it? What a turn of events, right? One sec.
Broski X will be stepping to 004 in about 30 minutes.
Alright, I'll be ready. Anyway, back to what I was saying. While this was an innovation lab, we've restructured ourselves to become the Overseeing Ministry. Trademark pending, you like the name? I know this is probably a lot to take in, so let me give you the rundown. My name is Broski. I was kidnapped by this sketchy organization, and the idiot guard decided to leave me alone with a giant unstable portal, so I took what I assumed would be my only opportunity to escape. Turns out going through that portal split my consciousness between a very large number of parallel timelines. It seems each timeline revolves around me. In one way or another, it seems I'm the inciting incident of whatever world a version of me inhabits. Some are transported to their respective timelines with memories of entering the portal, others don't know where they are or how they got there, and some, they're nearly unrecognizable outside of a few characteristics. Fortunately for the OM as we call ourselves, the timelines my consciousness was split between are finite, not infinite. If we were dealing with infinite timelines, there truly would be no limit to the possibilities. So the question still remains, which Broski am I? Well, Broski, John, Piggo, Mr. PigLover94, whatever you want to call me, I'm the closest to the original as possible. With timelines having lots of possibilities, I'm fortunate enough to recall everything, and not only that, but this world is exactly the same. What happened was I jumped through the portal and was spit right back out like nothing had happened, except the facility had been completely destroyed. After the guards shot me, I tried to explain my situation, and they appointed me as director. The situation is so severe that if a version of me dies, everything would collapse. The OM are cooking up a remedy. Something that's going to revolutionize our worlds and...
We're met with Gunman. Now this man is my goat. You remember the guy I told you to remember? Probably not. But if you do, he's the Roca man himself in the flesh. He's the guy that fed Broski that Roca. He tells us his tragic story about how he was a bounty hunter, but one day Puffy tried recruiting him to fight Broski. He refused his offer, but see, Puffy didn't like that. He destroyed his house, killed his wife, and kidnapped his daughter. Except that was all a line. Gunman is literally just gay. That's it. 10 out of 10 game. Absolute peak gaming. Thank you, Gunman. This level starts out differently from the other ones. Broski's in a car. Oh, never mind. We crash into a green guy on the road and Broski brutally dies of the wounds. And the game ends, tragically right there. After the world's most rage-inducing car hopping session, we enter the bar at the end of the road. That weird-looking fella from the last mission is asking about where we are to the bartender, calling us white man. Rude. The bartender doesn't want any of his white men business and is quickly held at arm point. The bartender tells him that they've seen us before with another person that looks similar to him but less metallic. Progressing literally one room, we already fight this fugly robot, and after hitting him 3 times, he locks the fuck in and does whatever the hell this is. This boss is like actually hard as hell. I was genuinely raging at this. It took me so much attempts to even get close to beat this ugly drilla. Why did I write that into my script? I wrote it out like D-R-I-L-L-A and then an apostrophe. I'm not even British! And for some reason this is what the game sounded like when I beat it. After defeating him, he cries like a baby, and Broski says this cool-ass line. Also revealing here that he's Metal Johnny, which makes him Metal Pig Lover. Following this, we're met by the only British person I'd ever respect. Oh, good heavens! First the unprompted explosion, now the whitehead over has entered our premises. Oh dear. I shall use my firearm, lest you attack first. What an unexpected tragedy. My life is soon to expire. Well, I mean, Broski is canonically British, but, like, I don't respect him. He's bald and white. The next thing we're met by is this conveniently placed map of the entire building, letting us know that we're about to storm into the lobby. And after the lobby, a meeting room. What are they talking about in these meeting rooms? Or actually, hell, if they can even speak. Look at these freaks. Taking an elevator up, my first thought was to murder a receptionist that didn't do anything to me. So I'm pretty sure Tower of Doom is making me a murderer. On this floor, they sell guns at a booth. Damn, that's cool as fuck. I would say I wish they did that here, but they probably do. After making my way up to the top floor, we're met with a surprisingly quiet room, as Broski points out, which he probably shouldn't have, because a massive fucking green guy falls from the roof. I'm going to say something that I keep repeating through this entire video, but it's true. This boss is seriously the easiest fucking boss ever. He just kind of walks towards you and tanks every hit. So the boss loop is literally just punching this tubby man in the shins and running away, which is oddly relatable. I respect you now, Broski. After destroying the boss of the green men, we hop from rooftop to rooftop, escaping as the green guys, who were once our enemies, are now throwing up white flags, surrendering. Which you can actually kill them while they surrender, making Broski a war criminal under the international humanitarian law. Good going, Broski. I respect you even more now. Suspiciously, the green guys make some sort of glitchy sound when you run over them, which could probably mean something that I probably don't have the brain power to dive into right now. As we continue on, the background seems to glitch out, which could only mean one thing. Yeah, another fucking glitch bug fight. And this one is actually hard. The bug tells us that he didn't actually expect us to be able to defeat Metal Johnny. Broski cuts in, interrupting the bug's lame villain speech to ask, why the fuck is he built like that? The bug in retaliation drops the most lukewarm villain quote ever.
You could say, I've received an upgrade, whilst you are about to be uninstalled.
The boss consists of the bug somehow throwing the backdrop at you and then shooting bug pellets at you. That doesn't sound very good. This backdrop move is like genuinely undodgeable at points. After giving the bug back shots of doom, he once more pussies out after admitting that Broski gave him the most devious of doom shots. Broski tries to interrogate the bug, but the bug is obviously not budging and resorts to the grand old British tactic of stabbing Broski. The bug stabs Broski with a stand arrow from fucking JoJo's that he changed to make him be teleported to somewhere that shouldn't exist. Oh god. He's sent to the random We're now face to face with Puffy. Puffy being trapped in here for years, maybe months, weeks? Who's to say? Broski questions Puffy, asking her if she made the Tower of Doom, which she replies saying she hadn't made. And even if she wanted to make some Tower of Doom, she's been in this baseplate, she couldn't have. This Puffy is a different Puffy from the one Broski knows. It's a fake, as Broski calls it, meaning this isn't the Puffy from the beginning. It's the one from the original Random Baseplate, the one that was sealed in the baseplate. As Puffy stops time with the intent to kill, she gets closer and closer until Broski Platinum appears, stopping Puffy's attack. Broski suddenly remembers everything. He knows what the arrows are. He knows why he holds a grudge against Puffy. Against this Puffy, at least. Saying the same line that Broski did in the original ARB.
Aha, the fool! Clinging onto his final threads of love.
Your death is already set in stone.
Oh my god, it's so tough! This fight was surprisingly hard, probably the most I've struggled on a fight up to this point. Puffy has this ability to stop time in which she charges up this punch that absolutely melts through Broski. This boss only has 12 hits it can take before it dies, but those 12 are a genuine struggle to dish out without getting pummeled. Beating Puffy isn't even the end of her boss. After getting her to 0 HP, we engage in an air fight only using our stand, which is genuinely sick as fuck, I can't lie. Also, I'd like to point out if you die at the air part, you get sent back to the beginning of the boss fight. There's no save point. It just sends you back to the beginning, which is very fun. You could tell how fun it is by consulting the 2 holes I gently laid in my monitor after experiencing this firsthand. The air segment ends off in a stand barrage, which you spam A and B for. After spamming for what felt like 2 weeks, we get treated to a silly little animated bit of Broski Platinum absolutely beating the shit out of Puffy. And Broski does a little cheer for him. What a nice man. After this fight, Broski's absolutely tweaking, having memories in his head he doesn't even remember. But hey, at least we have a cool stand. Or fucking not, as the bug comes in and steals Broski Platinum. What a dick! And that brings us to... Before we step into the final level, I'd like to point out its raining. I don't know why I wanted to do that, but it felt...
Hey, speaking into this pile of junk again, that machine I was talking about last time I spoke to this thing, it's almost complete. I didn't even know if it would be possible, but the geniuses did it anyway. They've made a machine to combine every timeline back into one, which will also essentially put me back together once again. The machine is going to run using an advanced AI system created by Puffy. Even though our Puffy is still stranded on some random baseplate out there, there's other Puffies still kicking around in different timelines, so we've analysed some of their technology and used it to our advantage. There was also this really cool timeline where I turned into a complete badass fighting Puffy for breakfast almost every day. You would have thought I'd be fine, but Puffy realised the only way to defeat me was to fight fire with fire. So she created a robot doppelganger based on my past self, which she actually tolerated. If we didn't step into that timeline, that Broski would have been toast. Fortunately, it was just a simple matter of replacing Broski's katana with an even sharper one. But my favourite Broski? Probably Piggo McGee. I mean, he's such a character, such a weird standout timeline. Sometime in the next few months, we'll be doing a first run of the machine. We're not actually going to go through with it, we'll just have the machine run a small simulation. And by small, I mean really, really small. It'll only be taking off about like 32 kilobytes of RAM. We don't want the machine to overheat. We don't want it to malfunction. We definitely don't want to start the process on 32 kilobytes of RAM. And we haven't even made the AI go live yet. So this will be a little...
Anywho, the final level, the Tower of Doom. We finally made it. It's time to put an end to all of this. The first room is a long stretched hallway with schematics on the wall that totally won't come up later. Trust. The first schematic seems to be some sort of machine with a drill, and the second one seems to be of a giant, almost humanoid robot with its head, neck, torso, and arms in shot. The text illegible. The next schematic being of a bomb with Broski crossed out and sword checkmarked. So you might have to hit this bomb. The final actually important schematic is, I'll actually just play my reaction to the schematic. This is... Oh, Metal Broski! Leaving the schematic room, you're led to a platforming section in the rain, which I mean, is genuinely so tough, I can't even lie. The rooms you scaled through have parkour, and normally that'd be a turnoff for me, but I'd say this is actually the best parkour in the game. It's not too easy, but it's not too hard, well, for these main rooms, because they're actually fun, but there's a room on the next floor that hurts me to even think about. Oh, and would you look at that? We just made it to the room. In this room, you parkour off what I can only assume to be glitched green guys hanging onto the wall, but every time you hit one, they fall down and you have to scale up the entire room like this. Lord save me. This makes me want Puffy and the Bug to actually win. After about 10 minutes in this room, or alternatively, if you're a guy I know, fucking 4 hours, and I'm not even lying, I genuinely don't know how you could be that bad at this game. This next room over, we're faced with a little glitchy boss rush, which cycles between Jean Moline and Obama, which is pretty cool. Going up another floor, we're met with a reprise of the worst part of this game. That stupid platforming section where you have to jump on the blue timed pieces. Why would you bring this back? I'm actually gonna break a hole in my monitor, I swear. For every 4 cool things this game does, it does one grueling, unplayable segment. Fun game though, fun game. Going up to the next... Okay, I immediately take back the fun game comment because it makes me do another timed jumping thing.
Hello, I kind of gave up on my Tower of Doom gameplay. So, today we're going to be reviewing calculator, long form calculator review. This is recommended by my friend Bobby. So, I'm going to select my starting character. I think I like this one. Now we're gonna select our gear. This seems to be a stick. I like this one. So
after trucking on through my personal Vietnam, also known as the Tower of Doom timed parkour segments, we're treated to another fun little boss rush from the Bug. This time featuring fan favorite Cock and the machine that blew on you during the first half of the game. What a pleasant surprise! On the next floor, after a slightly bearable parkour segment in the rain, Broski finds the Bug in front of him, and instead of talking about the Bug, I'm just gonna cut myself off and go on a small tangent real quick. So Broski, right, our main character here, our bald guy, he's gotta be like fucking soaked right now, dude. He spent like 5 minutes max in the rain parkouring, so he just walks into this room with the Bug, the man, no, creature he's been fighting this entire game. Or, well, trying to fight at least, because he just pussies out through the entire game. This could very well be his final showdown. And he's leading a fucking river of rainwater into this very room. And on that topic of the Bug, I feel like the Bug might be allergic to water. Like, look at him. He looks like you could just put him out by putting some water on him. Let me get back to the story. The Bug comes out of the ground wrapping the face of whatever the hell this thing was supposed to be from like 2 hours ago. The Bug tells us that truly the only thing left between us and Puffy is him. Broski basically calls the Bug a total fraud and he had to force the green guys to fight for him. The Bug, well, he doesn't really like that, and he mango crashes out and fucking devours what little of our health bar we had left. So, we now only have 2 fucking HP. The Bug, now splitting himself in 2, attacks us with his patented black glitch ball thing, trademark. Now, you would think the Bug in his final form, or whatever the hell this is meant to be, would be one of the game's hardest bosses. Oh, it's gonna be so hard, but you'd be totally wrong. He just slips around stage and shoots like balls at you. And once he takes like 4 baby hits, he just passes away. After beating the Bug to death, we're greeted by the final staircase, the final floor, where we've been headed this entire game. This is it. Floor X. Okay. Broski finally heading up these long flights of stairs. finally, we're here. Floor X. I really don't know why they called it Floor X. That's kind of cool though. Walking down the long corridors of Floor X, we jump onto a platform, which, hey, this looks exactly like the beginning of the game. Oh, which is a kind of proven when Puffy starts rising down from the top of the screen in her pod. Broski, as he always does, faces the wrong way and professes how he's gonna defeat Puffy. Broski talks about how he's already defeated everything in his way, even Puffy herself. So this shouldn't be any different, as long as she doesn't have anything planned. Oh my fucking god. Okay, yeah. Broski's oh shit is very correct. The Puffy Metal Gear has a decent chunk of health and a wide array of attacks. I'm talking like 4 attacks if I'm being honest. Attack 1 is literally just a left arm slam that gives you all the warning in the world. And the right arm is just a drill that shoots out at you with also the most warning in the world. It also has an occasional mouth beam from left to right or middle. This entire boss is basically just one big waiting game as you dodge the easiest to dodge moves ever. Which is pretty nice of the game to throw at you. It's basically just easy ass platforming over attacks. And the eventual nuke attacks, which were foreshadowed just as Metal Broski was foreshadowed. After delivering a couple of patented infamous Broski backshots of doom, although this time around it's of the nuclear variety, the Puffy bot, ew, oh my god, why does it look like that? Oh shit, it's charging up a massive shot, and I can't move. Oh, I'm fucked. Oh, never mind. As all 4 2/4 of my blind viewers didn't see, the Puffy bot's head blows clean off. So we must have done it. We must have won. The real Tower of Doom must have been all the friends we made along the way. All the Metal Broskis oh shit, it's Metal Broski. Metal Broski explains he was born from the scraps of Metal Pig Lover, thrown together to finally put an end to Broski, his previous model Metal Pig Lover even recording his battle data, making Metal Broski your perfect match. Now this is the end. You've met the wall, and the wall is Metal Broski. Metal Broski is Metal Pig Lover on fucking steroids, and he's a robot, so I think that'll be like robotic steroids, CPU overclock. He's on like a 4060, and Pig Lover was like a 1060. Now this boss fight is pretty hard, and well, I'm not sure if you noticed, but I'm on 1 HP, so that's fun. Metal Broski is probably single-handedly the hardest boss to graze this game. See, Metal Pig Lover was hard with 5 HP. Now I gotta fight Metal Pig Lover's bodybuilding grunkle who snorts bath salts as a pastime activity with literal pocket change for health. So, let me lock in real quick. Oh my god, I can finally sit back and relax. Oh my god, I gotta spam buttons. Broski does a badass anime samurai cut through bullshit and dices Metal Broski. Metal Broski, being a stubborn bald prick, doesn't give up, telling us our fate is already set in stone, which has been reused throughout this game like 3 times off the top of my head. He charges up his beam attack and oh shit, I'm done for. Wait, oh no, I can't move. Oh wait, what? Mr. Pig Lover, our past self, the real one, no metallic version, comes out and saves us, grabbing me before the explosion. As they fly off, the Tower of Doom and the giant robot topples to the ground, flying into the sunset with Pig Lover. Broski, confused as he should be, asks Pig Lover how the hell he got here. And you know how he's in Puffy's pod? Pig Lover says, that's a long story. And Broski doesn't even question it. Dude, what the fuck? Broski laments on why Puffy even built this tower and how did he even get there. Broski decides to just forget about it and go celebrate with Mr. Pig Lover. Pig Lover thinking the same thing, almost as if they're the same person. You might be onto something there, Pig Lover. And with that, we did it. We beat Tower of Doom. Is what you were probably expecting. You didn't save anyone. You saw the tower fall. Could anyone survive that? You failed. Come on, did you forget what I told you? Beat the rooms, find the keys. I'll be waiting.
Alright, let's get this show started. Hit it! What would you look at that? Well, that's one bleak way to put it. Your purpose is to save the universe. That's a pretty commendable act, if you ask me. Well, we did create you, but you're based on someone else's work. That's in your code? Alright, got it down. Team, got it down. Sir, a bug has invaded our system.
A bug? I told you we needed a good fire.
The process is starting.
Process is starting? No. Everything we've worked for. I'm not ready to die.
Hello? I'm transmitting this into a recorder. A cassette recorder? Whatever. Something. It was laying around. The portal was a mistake. I jumped. I split. I'm lost. I don't know. I shouldn't. Been half hour maybe. I found this in one of their little lab sections. I'm recording in case I die. There's hundreds of me split across so many timelines. They all revolve around me. And if I die, all of them go. I can feel them connected to me. Everyone else is dead. Everyone in this facility. I think the explosion killed them all. Or shockwaves.
The first 3 keys are in Broski Productions' Homestore, one before the actual Homestore, and one in the Homestore all the way on the left. The next key is up top on the freaky bug chase sequence where he speeds up like 10 times faster than he already was. In this small sheltered area we find the key. With the first key I can free my cat Rosie, which she gives me a red gem. Next I free Porky with my second key and that fat pig follows suit, giving me another one of these colored things. A pink sweet as his fatty calls it. Thanks buddy. With my last key I can free Jeff, who also gives me a little emerald thing as he calls it, and mentions it's like a chaos emerald from Sonic. I sure hope that's not foreshadowing. In the next level I scale up the cave finding a key, the next one being at the top of the Chicken of Hell's tower. Going back, we free Zack and the fucking Terminator, who both give me the totally not chaos emeralds. After getting the key from Jim's bar, which was a little lame, the next one is actually kind of sick and actually reveals some lore about the green guys. Going into the green guy's base, you can slip into a secret area hidden within the green guy's office. There seems to be a giant cloning machine, focusing on mass producing the green guys. At the end of the long clone machine, there it is, the red key. After freeing the gunman, he gives us a big green pop rock candy. Thanks, man. We now have all the rocks. The first room is a pretty stretched hallway with schematic. After we defeat Metal Broski, he charges up one last ditch effort, a shot to kill us, until the shot gets glitched. Mr. Piglover falls from the sky. Metal Broski's still not giving up. He says he's going to overclock his CPU. Broski basically says, if you couldn't defeat me alone, what makes you think you could defeat 2 of me? Which is very true. Metal Broski charges himself up, overclocking his CPU as his health slowly builds and this song slowly fades in. This is the true final boss. He is the wall. Until an unnamed text box that's the very same as the one from the beginning tells us to stop. Everyone are obviously shocked by a voice coming out of actually nowhere. This is the perfect outcome. You've done what I knew you could. You've saved everyone, says the text box, confirming it was the same text box at the beginning of the game, which told us to get the keys and save everyone. Broski comedically comments on the voice saying, I'm not the only one who can hear that voice, right? And he's quickly answered with, no, Broski, I've been watching you. Broski reasonably replies with, creepy, because imagine a random text box stalking you. The box gets mad as fuck at Broski for cracking jokes at such a time of emergency. Broski asks the voice what it needs, and the voice answers back. The bug is still very much alive. We apparently didn't finish the job from before. Metal Broski, being the bitch he is, finds it amusing. Broski asking where the bug is so he can just squash it again, cause god, that dude was easy as fuck. But apparently it's not that simple. Metal Broski agreeing because he's just a D1 bug glazer. Also, Metal Broski's name changes to Metal Johnny here, so I'm gonna be calling him Metal Johnny from here on out. Metal Johnny tells us that if you think you can stomp out the bug, his #1 ally, his gay lover, then you got this twisted. But that's when the voice interjects, telling everyone we all have this wrong. This is all twisted. Puffy is a lie. This isn't reality as they know it. The voice has been waiting for this moment exactly. The voice says that you've saved all of our friends, which wait, our friends? The voice dodges the question by asking about the diamond, gem, crystals, or whatever your friends thought it was. Pop rock candy, if you would. The voice is relieved to hear that you have the gems, the voice not being sure of, quote, how long we have. But right as he says that, Puffy comes down. The supposed lie, as the voice claimed. The voice only referring to Puffy as it, not she or her, keeping Puffy as some sort of mysterious thing. And the voice is right in his assertion that Puffy is the bug. The bug explains how he gave Metal Broski one job. That was to kill Broski, but he failed twice. His only life mission, he failed. Metal Johnny reasonably freaks out, asking him what he did to Puffy, his master. The bug rebuttals, calling him a simple machine, and saying, "You really thought you were serving your master, did you? Maybe in the timeline I stole your AI from, but in this world you could just scrap Metal." Metal Johnny, after basically being told his entire existence was for nothing, and his master he was hard-coded to serve, doesn't even exist. He freaks out, calling the bug a liar, launching a futile attack at it as he's turned back into nothing, as we can only assume. Johnny, the real one, not Metal, seeing this almighty bug absolutely dispose of the most powerful enemy they've both seen this far, is reasonably a little scared. The bug mocks him and says, "How about I give it a little kiss to make it feel better?" And then, well, doesn't give it a little kiss and he just fucking murders Johnny. The bug explains how there's a lot he doesn't understand about his world, and how, in all honesty, he wasn't even aware an iteration of our past self manifested into the digital form. The bug says now with Johnny out of the picture, it's time to deal with the Broskis, plural, which he had to specify as he brings down another Broski. This Broski was disguised as the menu dialogue. He was the one speaking to us this entire time, guiding us. Broski confused by what the bug meant by menu dialogue when describing him. This Broski turns out to be Broski X. Broski X tells the bug if he's killed, there's no way the timelines will ever be put back together, which is supposedly fatal to every timeline. The bug replies, "You think I haven't had that thought? What makes you think I'd care about the ensured destruction of my very existence?" Broski X tells the bug, "You won't win," and the bug coldly answers, "Exactly." Killing Broski X. The bug goes back to his final form from earlier, telling Broski he can never win. He'll be here forever. It returns you to the menu screen, the exciting fanfare clashing with what happened literal seconds earlier. After you try to load your save, you notice it's gone. It starts a new slot with the very same beginning. Broski about to get Puffy without even knowing why he's there, being tossed into her tower again. Yet, it's different. Nothing is there. No sword to pick up, no emperor fight. It's oddly quiet and desolate. It seems almost abandoned. The only thing there is a save chair. Sitting in it, the save box isn't what it was. It's the bug. He says, "Wow, you actually fell for it, huh? Your data has been saved. Nice dialogue box. I've been meaning to take it over." The screen flashes red, telling you to run, which I suggest you do. The bug is in some sort of grotesque form, one we've never seen before, one we've only seen pieces of, but never the full thing. He looks to be a spider of some kind. The bug chases us through the entire tower, the tower we've been playing through this entire game. The doors glitching out as we go floor to floor, every new room glitching out in some way, whether it be flashing or just off in color. And something nice the bug does is put roadblocks where you aren't meant to go. What a nice man! Making it all the way up to the top floor. Still running away, you hop into a glitch that's placed on the floor, and it sends you up to the rain platforming segment. This time, that palette being all red, making it look like blood rain. Ooh, spooky! Making it all the way to where you had your final fight. The bug above you saying, "Where do you think you're running to? This tower is eternal. You can't run from creation. All that is left of the life you knew is the memory of forgotten worlds. Here's how this is going to go. I'm going to give you a choice. I'm speaking to you, the player. When I made the simulation, I had 32 kilobytes of RAM to work with. I applied everything into the most applicable software I could, a Game Boy Color game. Turns out, there was a mistake. My simulation was extended into a separate subset of timelines, your world. But this is my world. So you can leave now and let me enjoy the life I have created. That would be the most idealistic option. The alternative is you keep helping the bald one. But you can rest assured knowing my next game will not be a fun one. Final warning, leave. After that whole lore drop, the bug was nice enough to even drop us into the main menu to help us make up our mind. The only option is to play or play. I decided to choose the top play, which immediately brings us into the final fight with the bug in his final form, as he takes 1 bar of health per hit. As he takes 1 bar of health per hit you deal to him, this boss is pretty easy and he goes down in like 5 hits. Or that's what you're supposed to think. Did you like my acting? The bug says, and we have the choice to say no, which I did. He calls us on our bullshit and says we were the one that was so invested in it. The bug tells us there's no escaping creation, at least for them. But we have a choice. We can escape creation. So why stay around? The game offers you a couple of choices we can answer back. Keep in mind, this is not Broski to the bug. This is us, the player, speaking to the bug. And I answered honestly. I selected the one that felt the most right to me, to kill you. The bug not liking that sends Broski into an Evangelion-style mindfuck. Broski being sent into a white void. Broski X speaking to us, this time voiced.
Broski. 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 Wake up!
He calls out for us. He calls out for Broski. When we wake up confused, Broski explains to us that it tried to remove our existence from the simulation. Basically tried to remove our code, but Broski X tells us that it won't work. Broski X tells us we are one and the same. Broski X revealing himself in the void too. His outfit seems to be Broski, but with a brown shirt and hair, which is odd for a Broski because they're all bald. The fit here is fire, I can't even lie. Broski X goes on to explain the event that created all of these timelines, including our timeline. The original Broski that every single Broski was split from went into a portal to escape from being held in captivity. But before he went into that portal, the world was one. But as soon as he went into that portal, the world was split into many subset timelines, which made us, our Broski, Tower of Doom Broski. Our Broski, Tower of Doom Broski, is obviously very shocked about this, asking who he is. Broski X answers, he's everyone. Broski replies back, I'm not you, am I? Broski X says, he's the exception because he was there at the origin point, meaning Broski X is the Broski from the original timeline. He was the one that jumped into the portal. He was the one that made the mistake of splitting the timelines. While Tower of Doom Broski, the one you play, is accumulation of every single timeline into one guy. Hence how Broski remembers every callback and doesn't at the same time. His memory is all over the place because he is every Broski. This Broski was created to be able to be the one to put all the timelines back together. That's why he is every Broski. Broski X revealing he planted every one of those gems when the simulation generated. He still had some control over it, so he split his power into 7 emeralds. The ones you collected throughout the true ending. Those were him. Those were his power. Broski, upon hearing this, chuds out a little and goes, wait, is that a Sonic reference? Wow, like the Chaos Emeralds. Broski X, unamused, just replies with a simple, yeah, it sure is, buddy. And our Broski calls that badass. Broski X agreeing, but wanting to continue his little explanation. Broski X basically just lore drops on you saying, these 7 emeralds hold the power of the simulation, and while it's not enough to shut it down, it should be enough to diminish the bug's power and complete the process this machine was built for, which will restore every timeline back into one. The bug couldn't delete you because it's fighting against the machine's very purpose of keeping you alive. You haven't been able to succumb to a normal death either because I've been watching every time. You've died, I've brought you back, but now it's time to end this. Broski X speaks to us over an actual audio, which I love when the game does that.
Good luck. Not that you're gonna need it, of course.
You're sent to the top of the tower to finally end this, for like the 3rd time in a row. The bug slowly comes back down, shocked that you're still alive, and he's not fucking around this time. He instantly transforms into his final spider-like form, stating that he can just keep killing Broski over and over and over and over until us, the player, rage quits. But that's when Broski drops a tough-ass line. That's where you're wrong, Glitchy. There's been a lot of talk about death set in stone, but this is different. My victory has been predetermined from the very start. The bug makes the wrong decision of saying, how do you plan on doing that? Broski replying, with these, fucking whipping out all of the gems and going super Broski in one of the coolest cutscenes yet. complete with the yellow and all. Broski kicks this bitch so far into the sky, and now it's time for the final showdown. For real this time. You and the bug both have your health bar go to infinity as you fly around this massive room, chasing after the bug, cutting him up and dicing him into smaller and smaller pieces as he tries to run away from you, trying to strike at you over and over to no avail as you continue to cut him into small and smaller pieces, basically begging for his life as he tells you if you continue this, he'll die. But that's exactly what you want. That's exactly what Broski wants. One less slice dicing the bug in half and ending this all. Broski seemingly being sucked into a void after killing him. And the credits roll. And hey, there I am in the special thanks. Now you may be asking, why the fuck are you there? Well, I've purposely been omitting one thing. And that is, well, me and Piggo, the YouTuber behind this entire game, we go way back. We've been chums for like years. Making this video was actually a little biased this whole time. And a kind of a self-promotion for my friend, Piggo, John, whatever you call him. Maybe even call him Broski, if you dare. I wouldn't. Hey, Broski!
Kill yourself in real life!
Oh, okay. Also, the whole time I was playing this, I was streaming the game to him. But enough about me. Let's get back to business because there's still a little bit left. Let me explain. This game ends on a QR code, which leads to a final transmission.
I made this the day before the game came out, and I kind of rushed it. It's a bit corny, but like it's kind of funny. I think it does conclude everything nicely. Share your screen, by the way.
Hello? You're the player, right? The one who was controlling me through all that.
Yeah!
Shut up! I was inside a Game Boy game. How did you see everything from your world? My sprite must have been pretty badass. I do have to thank you for sticking by my side though. Without you, my world would have collapsed. Well, hundreds would have. You did pretty damn good. So, where am I, you're probably wondering? Well, a better question might be, who am I now? I'm everyone, even that wise ass who copied my getup. Can't diss him too hard though. I guess I am partially him after all. Plus, he did something I never thought to be possible. He gave everyone a happy ending. He crafted this timeline to perfection. Puffy's actually bearable now. She's actually back to being my friend again. I never thought things would end up like that. Edward, despite probably not deserving it, is back to being a human. Turns out originally he was a human, but he was banished to hell for torturing chickens as a chef. Ironic. Even Jean Moline has reformed. He re-entered society as an entrepreneur. Bold move, but I respect it. I guess everything worked out. On Sunday, Puffy, Zach, Jeff, Porky, the Gunman, and even that innovation security guard are coming over for a barbecue. Some remember the events in the tower, some don't. I'm happy I can't remember all the timelines that came before though. It means this is a fresh start. We get to move forward from all the violence and the mess of the past. And I couldn't have been able to tell you before, but that's all I've ever wanted. A chance for all of us to be happy. Together. So, as I say goodbye to you, just remember none of this would have been possible without you. I suppose this is the end. The real question is what's next for me. Well, I think I'm gonna write a movie.
I can finally go to sleep after that long day of towering this doom. Who could that be at this hour?
Hey buddy, I've come to congratulate you on finishing your video reviewing my game.
Oh, thanks man. It was hell of a ride to make that video, but I'm glad it's finally done. I'll never review Tower of Doom again. I can finally go back to making regular silly Roblox videos that aren't a fucking hour long.
Well, about that one. Funny thing, I'm kinda changing almost everything about Tower of Doom in this huge update, changing dialogue and the story, adding new cutscenes, fixing a lot of the problems you've had in this review. So I don't think I'm asking that much of you when I ask if you can remake the entire video.
You okay?
What the actual fuck is wrong with